Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town. Welcome back. You are locked in with Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town.
That's right, and you are here for episode 28 of the Deep Dive.
We've got this huge stack of sources you guys sent over. Seriously appreciate that, and we are absolutely fired up to unpack it all for you.
Yeah, lots to dig into. It's all focused on the recent LIV golf action. We're talking Virginia, team stuff, and importantly, what it all means for the majors, especially with the U.S. Open coming up.
Exactly. Consider this your shortcut, your express lane to being totally clued in. Our mission today: dive into all this intel, pull out the absolute must-know nuggets, the surprising bits, and just connect the dots for you. LIV, the majors, how it all fits together.
Okay, let's jump right in. First stop, LIV Golf Virginia at Robert Trent Jones Golf Club, Gainesville, Virginia.
Right, and this place, it's got some history, doesn't it? RTJ Sr.'s masterpiece. Hosted President's Cups, Solheim Cup.
It has, and our sources actually flagged a cool little fact. Phil Mickelson, apparently the only guy in the field last week who played in those President's Cups there.
Wow, okay. So he's got some deep course knowledge, maybe. A unique perspective, for sure.
Definitely gives him a different look at it. And the course itself, described as a proper test. Hard, yeah, but fair. It seems like it rewards the thinking player.
Mm-hmm. Not just a bomber's paradise, then. Big greens, tricky contours. Sounds like you gotta be smart.
You do. Can't just bash it. And there's water, especially late in the round. The par 3 11th, around the 18th green on Lake Manassas, it demands precision.
Yeah, you got that drivable-ish par 4 10th, but then the beastly 18th. Variety. Sounds like a great venue.
It does. Demands precision, maybe a bit of luck, especially with those weather delays we saw. But all right, let's get to the results. The big stuff.
Okay, winners. Let's talk winners.
Individually.
Joaquin Niemann.
Again.
Incredible, right?
It is. His 4th LIV win just this season, and his 6th overall career LIV win. The sources are clear. He's now the winningest individual player in LIV golf history. Already.
Wild. And his first LIV win in the U.S., too.
He's just, he's on another level this year. His ability to close.
Wow.
Totally dominant in this format right now. And on the team side, Crushers GZ took it down.
Yeah. That's Bryson, Lahiri, Casey, and Charles Howell III. And get this, their 2nd consecutive team win.
And their 8th overall. 8 wins, which makes them the all-time winningest team in the league.
And the sources pointed out they did it with the exact same roster they started with. That's not just talent, that's like serious chemistry.
Stability pays off. A proper dynasty forming in the team game.
Okay, so diving into the actual event. Drama right from the start, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah. Round 1 had that long weather delay, over 100 minutes.
And when they came back, Bryson DeChambeau's just exploded. He's like T18 when they stopped, 1 under.
Yep. Then after the delay, chip in eagle on 14, birdie on 15, another chip in for birdie on 16, shoot 66, grabs a share of the lead.
His quote was perfect. I came out hot. Yeah, you did, Bryson. Some finish.
He really flipped a switch. Sharing that lead after day 1 was Martin Kamer, also a 66.
That was good to see, wasn't it? He's been, struggling a bit. Tied for the best putting average in the field that day.
Yeah, he sounded positive, too. Said something like, I know I'm good enough. Today the game is there. Maybe finding some confidence.
And looking sharp in his new bucket hat, apparently.
Aha! The sources did mention the hat. Team-wise, after round 1, Range Goats were up top. Ollie Schneederden stepped in for injured Matt Wolff. Shot a 67 that counted for the team. Great stuff from a reserve.
Yeah, Wolff withdrew after 8 holes, so that was clutch. Lots of big names tied at 4 under, too. Rahm, Niemann, Phil, McDowell.
Phil shot 67, his lowest opening round relative to par in ages, like 16 LIV starts. Said his short game felt great. He was having fun again.
Starting to play well, he said. Niemann also shot 67 after a shaky start, double bogey and a bogey early. Battled back.
And Josela Ballester, the U.S. amateur champ, making his pro debut for Fireballs GC. Shot 74. Tough start.
Okay, round 2. Enerban Lahiri steps up.
Big time. Bogey-free 64, takes the 36-hole lead at 11 under.
And he talked about learning not to play defensively with the lead, right?
Yeah.
Just keep attacking.
Exactly. He said, whether I'm 3 ahead or 2 back, I'm still going to try and birdie every hole. That's a powerful mindset shift. Really interesting insight.
Clearly worked for him there. He led by 2 over Bubba Watson, Keimer, and Graham McDowell.
A lot of major winners chasing him. Kamer, McDowell, Phil wasn't far back, Louis Schusen too. You could feel that veteran presence near the top.
Kamer even talked about how much winning now would mean compared to when he was younger. That hunger's still there.
Definitely. And Bubba, tied for second. He credited a new putter, a mallet, said he finally felt like he could get the ball to the hole.
There is probably something to it.
Yeah.
You believe in it. Love that. And the stats back him up. 4th on LIV in strokes gained putting this season. Huge jump.
Belief is key in putting. Crushers took the team lead after 2 rounds, just 1 shot ahead of Smash GC. Tight race there. They also moved the final round start time way up because of potential weather.
Smart move. And that final round. Wow. More drama.
Niemann seals the deal. Bogey-free 63 on Sunday. Incredible round.
And the story behind it. He said he got inspired during the second rain delay, watching Carlos Alcaraz, the tennis player, make a comeback win.
No way. That's amazing.
Yeah. Said he got inspiration from Alcaraz, then went out and ripped off 4 straight birdies right after the delay, holes 14 through 17. That charge won him the tournament.
That is fantastic. Sometimes inspiration just hits you right. Wild.
Meanwhile, Lahiri finishes T2, shoots 68, his 6th runner-up on LIV.
Gotta sting.
Oh, for sure. He called it disappointing, but part of the learning process. Good attitude to have. Gray McDowell, also T2, shot a great 66, his first LIV podium in 43 starts.
Huge result for GMAC. He said he's feeling his game trend upwards, feeling the juices flow again. And he's right near that lock zone bubble now. Massive finish for his season.
Absolutely. And we have to talk about Phil.
Oh my goodness. The shot.
Vintage Phil. Hole-out birdie from that super thick greenside rough, facing sideways, basically chipped it backwards.
It was nuts. DeChambeau's called it one of the greatest shots I've ever seen. And Phil's reaction, so understated. One of my better ones. Classic. He finished T8.
Just pure magic. Brayson himself finished T4 with a 65. That's his 6th straight top 5 overall, 4th straight on LIV. Just unreal consistency.
Machine-like. And Jon Rahm, T8. He still hasn't finished outside the top 10 in any LIV regular season event he's completed. That streak continues.
Also got to shout out Ben Campbell, set a LIV record, 7 straight birdies.
7 on his way to a 62. Just coming back from a wrist injury, too. Incredible run of holes. He finished T19.
Yeah, previous record was 6. Other low final rounds, too. Lee Westwood shot 62, tied his career low. Thomas Peters a 63 for another T4. Kazuma 64, Steele 64. Some low scores out there.
Good scoring conditions when the weather held off. Hazele Ballester, the young pro, finished T50.
And the final team standings. Crushers won at -36. 4 aces rallied for second at -34. Smash GC third at -31.
And you mentioned the 2025 format change. All 4 scores counting every round. That's going to ramp up the team drama even more. More volatility for sure.
No doubt. Okay, so that wraps Virginia. But the golf world doesn't stop. Next week, the U.S. Open. Oakmont.
The big one. And it's really interesting looking at the sources to see how many LIV players are teeing it up. 14 of them qualified.
14. That's a significant number.
It is. And what's really fascinating is the way they got in, the different paths. It kind of tells a story about where pro golf is right now, doesn't it?
Totally. You've got the defending champ Bryson. He's got a 10-year exemption. Easy street.
Right. Brooks Koepka, 2-time U.S. Open winner. He's exempt through 2028. Plus his PGA win last year helps. Dustin Johnson won the U.S. Open at Oakmont in 2016. That gets him in this year and next.
Phil Mickelson, the guy who's finished second 6 times. He's in from his 2021 PGA win. And he even hinted this could be his last U.S. Open at Oakmont.
Wow, that's a big statement from him. Cam Smith, his 2022 Open Championship win gives him a 5-year pass into the U.S. Open. Jon Rahm, the 2021 U.S. Open champ, obviously exempt. So that's a chunk of them set through major wins.
Okay, but then it gets more mixed, right?
Exactly. Joaquin Niemann, fresh off the win we just talked about, he's the first guy to qualify via that new direct LIV pathway. Top player in their standings, not otherwise exempt as of May 19th.
That's a landmark moment, really, LIV getting a direct entry route.
It is a significant development. Then you have guys who qualified via the official world golf ranking. Tyrrell Hatton, Patrick Reed, they were inside the top 60 on that key date in May. Hatton, comfortably, Reed, just squeaked in at 55th.
Cutting it close. And then the qualifiers. The true grinders.
Yep, golf's longest day. Carlos Ortiz got through in Dallas. Junichiro Kazuma made it through a playoff in Japan.
And Mark Leishman survived a 3-for-2 playoff in Maryland. Talk about pressure.
Intense stuff. And forget the amateur star, Hazele Ballester. He's in as the U.S. amateur champ. Made his pro debut, now playing a major. What a whirlwind.
Incredible. And finally, Richard Bland. He qualified by winning the U.S. Senior Open last year.
So yeah, look at that list. Past U.S. Open champs, other major winners, world ranking guys, the new LIV spot, qualifier grinders, the U.S. Am champ, a Senior Open winner. Is a real mix.
It really paints a picture of all the different avenues players are navigating now just to get into the biggest tournaments. Crazy.
It really is. Okay, so shifting back to the LIV season itself. Virginia was roughly the halfway point. Things are getting serious in the team standings.
Definitely. Rahm's team, Legion 13th, they're still leading overall, but Fireballs and Crushers are right there. That top three is huge, right? Gets you a bye in the team championship.
Exactly, straight to the semifinals. So the teams just outside that, like Ripper GC, Torque GC, they're feeling the heat to make a move.
And the sources brought up some burning questions for the second half. Like, can Legion 13th stay on top, even though Rahm hasn't won individually yet? His consistency is obviously huge for them.
Good question. And what about Sergio Garcia? He won early, looked great, but then really slumped. Missed the Masters cut, poor LIV finishes since. Can he find that form again?
He needs to for Fireballs. For the Crushers, can someone else besides Bryson win? Lahiri's been knocking on the door constantly. Howell pushed Bryson close once. Casey's been runner-up.
They need that second threat. What about Cam Smith? Joined Alvey as the Open champion, world number 2, I think. Still hasn't won an individual LIV event in 2025. Best finish is T5. Can he get back to that truly elite level? Ripper GC needs him.
Yeah, they do. Sebastian Munoz, currently 6th in points. Statistically, maybe the best player without a LIV win since last year. Can he crack that top 5?
He's been super solid. 4 aces. Dominated season 1, kind of middle of the pack now. Can DJ recapture his magic? Peters is playing well for them. Reed is steady, but they need wins.
Stinger GC seems kind of stuck in that 5th, 8th range. Louis hasn't quite hit his peak form from last year. And Brandon Grace is flirting with the drop zone, 49th in points. He needs a good second half.
Yeah, that drop zone adds pressure. Just to remind everyone, top 24 are in the lock zone, safe for next year. 25-48 is the open zone, team's choice to re-sign them, 49th and below. Drop zone, vulnerable to relegation unless the team keeps you or you requalify. Adds another layer.
High stakes for those guys. Matthew Wolff, too. Rough season so far. Just one top 10. Can he turn it around? Maybe playing back in the U.S. helps him. He's still so talented.
Flashes off the tee are still there. And Brooks Koepka, tied for the most LIV wins ever, 5 of them. But this season, just a runner-up in Singapore. Otherwise, pretty quiet. Can he snap out of this funk? You expect more from him.
You do. And lastly, the teams near the bottom. Majestics, Cliques, Ironheads. Sources say the Majestics legends are struggling statistically. Ironheads low in points, putting poorly. Kazuma coming back helps them, but it looks tough down there.
Gonna be a battle to avoid those bottom spots for sure.
One last little nugget from the sources. Gear stuff. Bryson debuted new irons in Virginia, LA Golf irons, co-designed them himself, hinted they're something special.
Interesting. His approach play stats haven't been quite as strong as his driving this year, apparently. Maybe these new irons are the fix. Always tinkering that guy.
Always. Okay, before we wrap this deep dive, the sources also touched on a couple things outside LIV, just for context.
Right. Always good to see the bigger picture. Ryan Fox won the RBC Canadian Open on the PGA Tour.
Big win for him. Second win in about a month. Got him into the U.S. Open via world ranking. Cool story, too. Late bloomer. Rugby cricket background.
Yeah, credits his dad for his mental game. And he had a great quote about Oakmont. Sounds like it's going to be a proper beat-up.
Sounds about right. Also, Lee Hodges was back playing at the Canadian Open after a bizarre rib injury. Tripped getting into his car.
Ouch. Yeah, weird one. But he had a good Saturday round, shot 63. Good to see him back.
Okay, so there you have it. That was a ride. LIV Golf Virginia, Niemann making history, Crushers setting records, Phil being Phil.
We unpacked all those different paths the 14 LIV guys took to get into the U.S. Open at Oakmont. Really shows you the state of the game right now.
We looked at the key storylines shaping up as the LIV season heads into its crucial second half. Lots of pressure building.
So thanks to this deep dive, using the sources you sent in, you should be totally up to speed on all this recent action and what it means going forward.
That's the goal here at Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town. We do the digging so you get the gold.
Make sure you ring the bell so you never miss one of these deep dives. And please, hit us up on social media. Tell us what you thought of Virginia, who you like at Oakmont. What LIV storylines have you hooked?
Seriously, let us know. We want to hear it. And get ready for episode 29. What's next? Could be a preview of LIV Golf Dallas coming up later this month. Or maybe we find something else juicy in the sources. You'll have to tune in.
And as you think about everything we covered, here's that final provocative thought for you. With all these different ways to qualify for majors now and the different league structures, is success in golf becoming more about finding the right pathway? Or when it really comes down to it, is pure performance still the ultimate equalizer?
Something to chew on. All right, until next time, keep diving deep. Head over to our social media.
Yeah?
Tell us what you think.
Let's hear it.
And give us your predictions for the future of golf.
Until next time.
Keep it in the fairway.
And hit 'em straight.